Alright, students, let's go ahead and now start revising the chapter of refunds. My fund is there with the government. I want it back, and hence the chapter of refund. Refund, when we are going ahead and learning, we will be learning section number 54, read with the various rules which are there. Rule number 89, 90, 91, 92, 92, 1A, etc. All these rules we'll be going ahead and discussing together. Chalo, let's go ahead and start understanding the chapter of refund. Now, first of all, Baba, always remember one thing. Giving the money is very easy, but taking it back is difficult. And hence, the same situation we'll be going ahead and seeing in the chapter of refund. It is not that the chapter is difficult, but what is difficult is the process of getting the money back. Now, let's go ahead and start understanding the chapter of refunds. Everyone over here. First of all, for refund, for taking your refund, there always has to be an applicant who wants to take the money back. So, sir, an applicant can be any person. It can be a supplier, it can be a recipient, it can be a registered person, it can be an unregistered person. Whoever wants the money back from the government has to go ahead and apply, and that person is known as an applicant. Sir, an applicant always has to go ahead and file a refund application within how much time? 2 years. Now, whenever you're going ahead and applying for refund, first of all, you have to remember always, Baba, whenever you're applying for refund, your Aadhaar authentication must be done. Okay? And now, whenever you are going ahead and filing your application always goes with GST RFD01. So first of all, you always have to have your application. Along with the application, you have to give documentary evidence to go ahead and documentary evidence or undertaking or statements to prove that, sir, refund is due. Number one, application. Number two, documentary evidence to prove refund is due, and also one more documentary evidence that refund is due to me only. I have not passed on the burden to any other person. So whenever a person is going ahead and applying, always remember a person has to go ahead and give an application in GST RFD01. UIN holders ke liye, they have gone ahead and told RFD10. So normally for every situation, whenever you are going ahead and applying for refund ka application goes in RFD01, and Baba UIN holder ke liye it is RFD10. Now whenever you give an application, along with the application, you have to go ahead and give documentary evidence or undertaking or statement to prove that the refund is due, and the refund is due to me only. Are we clear, everyone? And why that documentary evidence? To prove that there is no unjust enrichment, that, sir, the refund belongs to me, don't put it in the consumer welfare fund. Now, whenever you're going in and applying for refund has to apply it within 2 years from relevant date. Now, let's go ahead and see the various situation when you go ahead and get refund. In the various situation, when will you start that 2 years from? Means when is the relevant date from which you have to see 2 years and you have to go ahead and apply for refund. And sir, what are the various documentary evidence which you have to give to prove that the refund is due? Now that the refund is due to me only, for that the documentary evidence which is there is, Baba, a CS certificate or a self-declaration. Okay, everyone. Now let's go ahead and see the various situation whenever you go ahead and get the refund. Sir, whenever the refund is due on account of export of goods, if you have gone ahead and exported the goods, on export of goods, whatever the GST you have gone ahead and paid, you can go ahead and claim a refund. Now, sir, what is the relevant date? In case of export of goods, the date, now if the export is by sea or air, the date on which the ship or aircraft leaves India. Sir, if the export is by land, the day such goods pass the custom frontiers. Sir, if the export is by post, then you have to go ahead and see the day the goods are dispatched by the post office. Sir, now whenever I am going ahead and applying for refund, in this three scenario, what is the documentary evidence I have to go ahead and give to establish that the refund is due? Sir, refund is due, and hence those documents are just attach one statement containing the number and date of shipping bill or bill of export. In case of export through land, Baba, export via land, you have to go ahead and give your bill of export. First of all, statement containing the number and date of shipping bill or bill of export, plus you have to go ahead and give number and date of relevant. So again, you have to go ahead and prepare one statement which has the number and date of relevant export invoices. Now the same documentary evidence ditto in case of other situations also. Means other situation means when you are going and exporting by land or you are exporting by post. Now if it's an export of service, when will you see that 2 years from? When will the 2 years start from? They are going ahead and telling it is always the later of date of invoice or the date of payment. Date of invoice or the date of payment, whichever is later. Because for export of services, you always have to realize foreign currency, only then it is export of service. Goods ka case mein to take goods from India, outside India, it is export of goods. But service ka case mein, location of supply is in India, location of recipient is outside India, place of supply is outside India, what you are receiving is foreign convertible currency, and you both are not mere establishment of distinct person, then it is export of service. So sir, over here you have to go ahead and see that the payment is realized, invoice is raised and the payment is realized. Only then baba it's a, whichever is later, you have to go ahead and apply for your refund within 2 years, and you have to give a statement, and the statement should contain the number and date of invoices plus bank realization certificate or foreign inward remittance certificate. The next one over here is whenever you are going ahead and supplying goods to an SEZ unit or developer, remember one thing, if it's a supply to SEZ unit or developer and you want to go ahead and claim a refund of whatever the GST has been paid by you, then the due date of return under section number 39 will be the relevant date. The due date of return under section number 39. Remember, due date, due date, due date. In case of SEZ supply, it is the due date of return with respect to such supply. Plus, you have to give a documentary evidence, which is what everyone? A statement. Sir, what is this ditto? Ditto is nothing other than containing number and date of invoice plus an endorsement. This endorsement is given by the specified officer of the SEZ that they have gone ahead and received the goods and service in the SEZ. So that endorsement which has been given by him also has to be attached. Along with that, a payment detail in case of services that the payment has been received when you have supplied the services to SEZ. The next one over here is deemed export. Remember one thing, what do you mean by deemed export, everyone? Deemed export are those supplies in which goods don't leave India. But still, government goes ahead and says that these supplies will go ahead and deem it to be deemed export. Sir, what are deemed export supply? Deemed export ka supplies are AA, EE, boys, PG. Sir, AA means if you are supplying to a person who is holding an advance authorization, then Baba, whenever you supply to him, even though he is in India only, but your supply will be deemed as deemed export. The next one is if you are supplying to an EPCG authorization holder, if you are supplying to an export oriented unit, or bank or PSU supplying gold to a person who is holding an advance authorization, then Baba, your supply is one known as deemed export supply. And with respect to the deemed export supply, when I am going ahead and supplying to an advance authorization holder, I will pay the GST on that, and the GST which is there, I will go ahead and claim a refund. Remember one thing, Baba, but in case of deemed export supply, whenever you are supplied of deemed export, you generally don't go ahead and charge any GST to the customer, but you pay the GST and you claim a refund. However, there is no bar on the recipient. If he has gone ahead and borne the burden of the GST, he can take the ITC also and he can claim a refund also. But in that scenario, supplier will not be able to claim a refund. Everyone over here. So sir, if I am making deemed export supply, always remember, if you are a supplier of deemed export, the day you actually file the return with respect to the deemed supply, the day you actually file a return, actual date of filing the return with respect to the deemed export supply, from that day you have to run, Baba, run. Within 2 years, you have to go ahead and file your application, and along with that you should attach a statement containing the number and date of invoices, basically those invoices which are relating to the deemed export, plus you also have to give other documents which are being notified, and government have gone ahead and notified over here. The other document is, sir, the advance authorization holder, EPCG authorization holder ka jurisdictional tax officer say you should take an acknowledgement that sir, they have received the supplies, or sir, tax invoice signed by the EOU that sir, we have received the supplies. Then in that scenario, first of all, that acknowledgement has to be there with you, which is given by the advance authorization holder or EPCG authorization holder ka jurisdictional tax officer, or if you are supplied to EOU, the tax invoice signed by the EOU has to be attached saying that sir, EOU has received the goods. Then sir, other than that, you also have to take an undertaking from the recipient that he has not availed the ITC and he shall not file a refund application also. But sir, is there any bar on recipient going ahead and taking the ITC? Recipient of deemed export supply, if he has borne the burden, he can go ahead and take the ITC also, and he can go ahead and apply for a refund also. But sir, when the recipient of deemed export supplies, if he wants to apply for refund, he also has to see 2 years. For recipient also, the 2 years will be applicable from the actual date of filing of return relating to the deemed export by the supplier only. If supplier is applying for refund, then also when he files the return, from that day he has to file within 2 years. If recipient is filing, for them also circular had clarified that sir, for recipient also the time limit is 2 years from the date the supplier of the deemed export supply goes ahead and files the return with respect to the deemed export. The next one over here is, if refund is because of a judgment, degree, order, etc., court ka degree order has come, then Baba, the date of communication of the judgment, degree or order, from that day you have to go ahead and apply within 2 years. And Baba, what will you attach along with your application copy? Just go ahead and attach a reference number of the order and the copy of the order passed. Along with that, because you are going ahead and claiming a refund of your deposit which you had gone ahead and done, so generally the reference or number of the payment of the pre-deposit. So if you are applied to the appellate authority, you won the case over here. The day they communicated, the appellate authority went ahead and told that, okay, you are now going to get the refund. The date of communication of the order, from that day you should apply within 2 years. Are we clear? And along with that, you should give a reference number and copy of the order plus the date of, plus a reference number of the payment of the pre-deposit for which you are claiming a refund. If refund is on account of unutilized ITC, remember, unutilized ITC ka refund is only in two scenario: zero rated supply and inverted duty structure, and zero rated supply in which you have given LUT or bond. So sir, refund of unutilized ITC, always remember due date of return under section number 39. From the due date of return, you have to apply within 2 years. So they are going ahead and telling you should also give a statement containing number and date of invoices received and issued. And then it says provisionally paid tax. Baba, if you remember, we had gone ahead and learned about provisional assessment. In case of provisional assessment, you will go ahead and pay your taxes provisionally. Now, if you have gone ahead and paid your taxes provisionally under provisional assessment, later finalization happened. Now, department will go ahead and adjust the final assessed amount against the provisionally paid amount, and once they have done the adjustment, they will tell you how much is the refund due. Now, from the date of adjustment of tax, you have to go ahead and apply within 2 years, and also you have to give a number, reference number and copy of the final assessment order when you are going ahead and applying for refund of the provisionally paid amount. The next one over here is person other than the supplier. Baba, if a recipient is going ahead and applying, the day he had gone ahead and received the goods, services or both, from that day he has to go ahead and apply. The next one over here is wrong classification or excess payment. Sir, if it's a wrong classification case or excess payment ka case, sir, I had gone ahead and paid CGST, SGST. Now I have to pay IGST. The day I'll take a CGST, SGST ka refund, wrong classification, section number 77. Or might be if you have paid excess payment, always remember one thing, the day of payment of the correct tax. Sir, what do you mean by date of payment of correct tax? For an example, I had paid CGST and SGST by mistake. Now I have to go ahead and claim a refund of the CGST, SGST and pay IGST. Now when I go ahead and pay the correct IGST, that day say I can go ahead and apply. Now section number 77 says the day you pay the correct tax, you don't have to pay any interest. Now, when you go ahead and apply, when you go ahead and pay your correct tax, from that day, you have to go ahead and apply within 2 years. And also, you have to give a statement showing that transaction details. The first I had paid CGST, SGST. Now, I am paying IGST. This CGST, SGST should be refunded or vice versa. If you are a UN holder, remember one thing, whatever supplies you have received during a quarter, the last day of the quarter, say you have to go ahead and apply within 2 years. UN holder ke liye earlier the time limit was 18 months. Now the time limit is what, everyone? 2 years only. Very long back, they had changed this amendment wherein they went ahead and told for everyone applying for refund, now the time limit is 2 years. And you have to give a statement that whatever inward supplies you have received, sir, UN holder has to give a statement in GSTR 11. So what did we go ahead and learn over here? We learned about the various situation. Along with the various situation, we learned the various relevant date and we learned the various documentary evidence which you have to give to support your claim of refund. Now, sir, when I go ahead and apply, I have to always go ahead and apply within 2 years. UN holders should apply also within 2 years. Now, whenever you are giving an application, always remember your Aadhaar authentication should be done. Normally, the application goes in GST RFD 01 for everyone, but for UN holder, Baba, the application goes in RFD 10. And sir, you have to give a documentary evidence, which we have already gone ahead and understood. Plus, you also have to give a documentary evidence to prove that there was no unjust enrichment. I did not go ahead and pass on the burden. Sir, the refund is due and the refund is due to me only. For that, they are telling if the refund amount is less than 2 lakh, you have to give a self-declaration. And if the refund is greater than 2 lakh, you have to give a CA certificate. Are we clear till here, everyone? Now, sir, some cases they have gone ahead and told proof of unjust enrichment is not applicable. It means you don't have to give a self-declaration or a CA certificate. When is the proof of unjust enrichment not applicable? See, it says 54.8A, B, C, D and F. Remember one thing, it is 54.8A, B, C, D, E. E point which is there, for that E point ke liye you have to give a proof. Only then the money will not be credited to consumer welfare fund. But otherwise, for these 5 points, you don't have to give any proof of unjust enrichment. Number one, if you are going ahead and making an export of goods, in case of export of goods, services or both, Baba, where you have paid the IGST or might be if it is the ITC ka refund, remember one thing, proof of unjust enrichment is not required in case of export of goods or service. Whether IGST ka refund or ITC ka refund, proof of unjust enrichment is not required. Sir, if it is unutilized ITC under section number 54.3, Unutilized ITC in case of section number 54(3), then they are going ahead and telling for that also proof of unjust enrichment is not required. The next one over here is, sir, tax paid on advances and no invoice was received, issued, or refund voucher was issued. Sir, tax paid on advances. Tax paid on advances. Sir, I have gone ahead and received the advance. I went ahead and paid the tax. Now, sir, I did not issue any invoice and I have issued a refund voucher. Government will refund the tax to me. I hope you guys remember. Sir, if you have gone ahead and received an advance and you have paid the GST to the government, now if you go ahead and refund the advance, you will issue a refund voucher. You have to file a refund application and government will go ahead and give you the refund. In that scenario, you don't have to give any proof of unjust enrichment. The next one over here is tax paid in pursuance. Tax paid in pursuance of section number 77, that is wrong determination of place of supply. Sir, I had paid CGST and SGST by mistake. Now I'm paying the correct IGST. In that scenario, you don't have to give any proof of unjust enrichment. And E point actually goes ahead and says that, sir, if you have gone ahead and borne the burden of the tax, then Baba, you have to go ahead and give your proof. Only then the refund will be given to you. In that scenario also, unjust enrichment will not be applicable. But sir, for E point, you have to give a proof. And last one over here, for this, you don't have to give a proof. Tax and interest borne by notified class of applicant, anyone who is being notified by the government. Baba, if you are being notified, then for you also proof of unjust enrichment will not be applicable. Always remember one thing, sir, whenever you are going in and applying for refund, people, whenever you are going for and applying for refund, you have to apply within 2 years. Sir, UN holder also 2 years. Whenever you are giving an application in GST RFG01, documentary evidence to prove refund is due, and also documentary evidence to prove that there is no unjust enrichment, refund is due to me only. Otherwise, always the money goes to consumer welfare fund. And in this 5 scenario, they have gone ahead and told any proof of unjust enrichment is not required. What are the 5 scenario? Number 1. Whenever you are going in and exporting, either export का case में IGST का refund और ITC का refund में, you don't have to give a proof. Secondly, unutilized ITC का refund when you are going in and claiming. Unutilized ITC का claim refund when you are going in and claiming. In that scenario also proof of unjust enrichment is not required. Are we clear? The next one over here is third one. Sir, whenever you are gone ahead and paid tax on advances and now you are refunded the advance, in that scenario not required. Fourth one, everyone. Sir, wrong classification का case में. Fifth one, notified class of people का case में. Now over here, remember, once you go ahead and file an application, application reference number will be generated. Once the application reference number is generated, amount will be debited to your e-cash or e-credit ledger as the case may be. If you have gone ahead and applied a refund of your e-cash ledger, then Baba, then also, if you have applied a refund from your e-cash ledger, then also it is ARN number will be generated and the amount will be debited in your e-cash ledger. And sir, if you have claimed a refund from your e-credit ledger, then also the amount will be debited in the e-credit ledger. Sir, whenever you file an application, the amount is debited. Okay, everyone. Now, sir, what will happen after I have gone ahead and filed an application? After you have gone ahead and filed an application, within the next 15 days, the officer will go ahead and I give you an acknowledgement. If the application is complete, he will go ahead and give you an acknowledgement in GST RFD02. So you went ahead and filed your application. Now he'll take some time to go ahead and do the verification whether the application is complete, documents are completely provided or not provided. And after that, he will go ahead and give you an acknowledgement. An acknowledgement will be given in GST RFD02 indicating the date of filing the application. Why are they indicating the date of filing the application? From the date of filing the application, the money will come in your bank account within 60 days. And hence, they always mention in the acknowledgement the date of filing the application. Sir, supposingly, if the application is incomplete, then what will happen? Baba, if the application is incomplete, he will issue you a deficiency memo in GST RFD03 and the amount will be recredited to your e-cash ledger or e-credit ledger, whichever was debited, that amount will be recredited. Sir, now I have to go ahead and file a fresh application. Always remember one thing, limitation period of 2 years for filing an application to exclude the time period from filing GST RFD01 to the date of communication of GST RFD03. For an example, everyone, I went ahead and filed a refund application over here. Now, sir, okay, this is the relevant date. From the relevant date, I had to file within 2 years. Supposingly, I went ahead and filed over here. When I filed, after that, they went ahead and issued me a 2 years got over and they issued me a deficiency memo. Now, sir, they took 10 days to go ahead and give me a deficiency memo, but my 2 years are already over. From the relevant date, 2 years are already over. So they are going in and telling when 2 years got over here, because you had filed your application over here and the deficiency memo was given after 10 days, you will be given additional 10 days to file a fresh application. And sir, now you have to file a fresh application, and from the date of fresh application, the 60 days ka time period will be C. Now, okay, supposingly your application was accepted. Okay, everyone, you went ahead and filed your application. Now, PO went ahead and verified and your application was accepted. Remember one thing, if you are a person, who is making what, everyone? Zero rated supply. Zero rated supply ka case mein they have gone ahead and told from the date the acknowledgement is being generated, zero rated supplier, because they are always in need of fund, government went ahead and told within 7 days on the basis of prima facie examination they will be given refund of 90% of the refund claim. Provisional refund order will be passed in GST RFD 04 and then payment order will be issued in GST RFD 05. Sir, supposingly on the basis of preliminary examination only, proper officer is satisfied that the complete refund should be given to them, then in that scenario, if proper officer is satisfied that no further scrutiny is being required, then he can go ahead and issue a final sanction order, which is GST RFD 06, and along with that payment order will be issued, which is in GST RFD 05. Sir, based on the payment orders, what will happen? Based on the payment order, always one consolidated payment advice will be created, and consolidated payment advice ka basis mein the PFMS ka website will go ahead and share the money. Basically, they will put the money in your bank account. Sir, but supposingly I am not a zero rated supplier, then in that scenario, what will happen is after they have gone, okay, one more thing over here, that provisional refund is not given. If you are a person who has been prosecuted for an offense where the tax evasion was more than 2.5 lakh, not 2.5 lakh, 2.5 crores. Sir, no provisional refund if the person has been prosecuted for any offense during any immediately preceding 5 years and the tax evaded was exceeding rupees 250 lakh, which is 2.5 crore, and they have gone ahead and told over here. So now what did we learn till here, everyone? We went ahead and learned, first of all, from the relevant date within 2 years you have to go ahead and file an application. Sir, when you go ahead and file an application, along with the application you have to give a documentary evidence that, sir, refund is due, and refund is due to me also. You have to give another documentary evidence. After that, what will happen, everyone? Sir, whenever I say CA certificate, remember CA is chartered accountant or cost accountant. Okay, everyone? Okay. Now, within 15 days, they will go ahead and give you the acknowledgement and then the processing will start. Proper officers are being advised that within 45 days, see Baba, refund order pass karne ka time limit is 60 days actually. But within 60 days, the money should come in your bank account. So, if proper officer passes the order only within 60 days, then when will the money come in your bank account? PFMS website is also going to take time, and hence proper officers are advised that within 15 days acknowledgement plus maximum more 30 days you take, and within 45 days please go ahead and pass your refund ka sanction order. So sir, whenever they are processing the refund, they will, rule number 92 says, if the refund is inadmissible, first they will give you a show cause notice in GST RFD 08. You have to go ahead and reply within how many days, everyone? 15 days in GST RFD 09, and then they will go ahead and issue a refund. If refund is admissible, then they will go ahead. If proper officer is satisfied that refund is admissible, then they will go ahead and give you a refund sanction order. If proper officer is not satisfied that the refund is due, then he will go ahead and give you a rejection order. And refund sanction or rejection order both are same. It is GST RFD 06. Now, once the proper officer has gone ahead, okay, if rejection, then rejection. But if a proper officer feels that the refund is due and the money should be given to you, then they will go ahead. If refund is admissible, refund sanction order will be given. Now, in the sanction order, he will go ahead and tell what is the final amount which is to be refunded. For an example, he told over here 1 lakh rupees. Out of that, first he will go ahead and deduct whatever the provisional refund was given. For an example, zero rated supplier ka case mein 90% was given. That he will go ahead and deduct. Or if you have any outstanding demand, etc., which is there, I hope you guys remember section number 79 in your demand and recovery chapter went ahead and told modes of recovery mein whatever refund is due to you, from that they can go ahead and recover. So they will go ahead and recover. Supposedly 20,000 was due and they went ahead and recovered from them, then from you, or might be any provisional amount of refund was given, that they will go ahead and recover from this amount. And now the remaining amount ke liye they will go ahead and give payment order. Remember one thing, payment order should always be issued, because on the basis of payment order, the consolidated payment advice is being created by the portal, and then the consolidated payment advice is shared with the PFMS website. PFMS website gives the money in your bank account. So between the issue of the refund order and coming of money in your bank account, there is definitely a time period. Are we clear? And the money should come in your bank account within 60 days from the date of application. Sir, if the money does not come in my bank account within 60 days, supposing the money came over here, then always remember, for the extra period, also the officer will go ahead and issue a GST, PMT, 05 basically, sorry, GST RFD 05 may payment order that we are going ahead and giving you interest at the rate of 6% under section number 56. Remember one thing, day wise calculation, post 60 days, whatever the number of days are days of delay, they will go ahead and give you a interest. Done, sir. Point is clear. Sir, what if the amount of refund which was given was erroneous refund? Remember, I'm linking the demand and recovery chapter over here. If the refund is erroneous, you have taken the refund by giving documentary evidences, false documentary evidences, then Baba, it will be recovered from you within 3 years or 5 years as the case may be. Sir, what if I'm asking for refund and the refund is less than 1000 rupees? They are telling no refund below rupees 1000. If it is CGST also, Baba, below rupees 1000, no refund. Sir, SGST also below rupees 1000 also, no refund. And IGST also, it is not 2000, it is 1000 only. Sir, below 1000 rupees, there will be no refund which will be given. And this thing is not applicable in case of e-cash ledger, because e-cash ledger is your cash only. They will always, whatever amount of refund you are asking, you can go ahead and ask. But otherwise, at least rupees 1000 is the minimum amount for which you can go ahead and ask for a refund. Under GST, the amount is 1000. Under customs, the GST, the minimum refund amount is 100. And duty drawback under custom, it is only 50 rupees. Baba, customs mein refund amount is 100. Duty drawback amount minimum is 50. And GST mein, it is 1000. Can I go ahead, everyone? Chalo, let's go ahead. Everyone over here now. Sir, officer went ahead and sanctioned a refund of 1 lakh rupees, but officer has gone ahead and seen that I have not filed my tax return, I have not paid my taxes, etc. So, sir, withholding by your proper officer can also be done. If refund is due and registered person has defaulted in the return or liable to pay the tax, interest and penalty, proper officer can go ahead and deduct, withhold the refund and deduct whatever tax, interest, penalty, late fee, etc. or any other amount which is being unpaid by you, that amount can be deducted, and remaining amount ke liye he will go ahead and give a payment order. Based on the payment order, GST portal creates a consolidated payment advice, and based on the consolidated payment advice, PFMS ka website will give the money in your bank account. Okay, sir, point is clear. So basically, if the officer passes this refund sanction order within 45 days, PFMS website ke paas everything, details will be collated, it will go to the PFMS website, it is going to take another 10-15 days and the money will come in your bank account within 60 days. Now, sir, does the commissioner also has the power to go ahead and withhold your refund? Yes, Baba, yes. If the commissioner is of the, if commissioner is contemplating that we'll go ahead and file a departmental appeal, then in that scenario, withholding by the commissioner. If refund is subject matter of an appeal, they are thinking that we'll go ahead and file a appeal, then sir, in that scenario or further proceeding which are going to likely adverse the revenue, means they are telling, sir, we are going to go for an appeal, we will not process the refund. If you process the refund now, then might be you will go ahead and run away, and hence the commissioner also can go ahead and withhold the refund. It says whenever he is withholding the refund, he will go ahead and give you the details. In GST RFD 07 ka part A mein, he will inform you that we are withholding, order for withholding, we are informing the reasons. And sir, if the proper officer is satisfied that a refund is no longer liable to be withheld, then release order will be given in GST RFD 07 ka part B. Sir, if refund is withheld, if withheld amount is refunded, if refund was withheld, now the amount is being given to you. If it is after 60 days, then they will go ahead and give you an interest at the rate of 6%. Also, besides this, there is one rule number 921A. Sir, what is rule number 921A going ahead and telling? Always remember, refund will be given as per the original mode of payment. If you had originally gone ahead and used your e-credit ledger, the refund also will be put in the e-credit ledger. If you had originally used your cash, then Baba, the money will be given in your bank account. Always remember, refund in cash or credit based on the original mode of payment. Proper officer, when he is going ahead and issuing a refund order, first of all, refund order will be issued in GST RFD 06. Now, final sanction order amount which is to be given, out of that, whatever is the outstanding amount, they will deduct, and remaining amount ke liye they will go ahead and give you a payment order. Remember one thing, payment order always will be given only for that amount which has to be sanctioned in your bank account. But sir, if the amount has to be recredited in the e-credit ledger, for that the officer does not give a payment order. For that, the officer goes in and gives GST PMT 03 for recrediting the amount as input tax credit in the e-credit ledger. Remember, 921A is not applicable in case of zero rated supply, and also when you are going ahead and making deemed export supply. Just imagine you are making zero rated supply and you are telling ITC ka refund, they are giving you the refund back in your e-credit ledger only. So hence they went ahead and told, in that scenario, we will give the money in your bank account, in that scenario will not recredit in the e-credit ledger. Now besides this, there are small point over here. If applicant before issuance of the RFD 04 provisional refund order, RFD 06 refund sanction order or refund rejection order, RFD 05 payment order, RFD 07 withholding ka order, sir, RFD 08 which is the show cause notice that why we should not go ahead and reject your application. Before issuance of all these things with respect to a refund application, if you want, you can withdraw your refund application. Withdrawal of refund application can be done by going ahead and filing GST RFD 01 W. And now, sir, I have gone ahead. When I applied for refund, you entered and debited my e-cash or e-credit ledger. I am withdrawing my application. They will recredit the amount in the e-cash or e-credit ledger as the case may be. On submission of the RFD 01W, GST RFD 01W, any amount which was debited in the e-cash ledger or e-credit ledger shall be recredited. Refund is unavailable to you. Always remember one thing. Refund is available, not unavailable. Refund is available to UN holder. So whenever UN holder is filing the refund, he will always go ahead and give GST ka RFD 10 along with that statement of inward supply. But supposing he has gone ahead and received some supplies on which he had not on his GST number is not written, then for those invoices they are going ahead and telling goods services received from a registered person against a tax invoice. Always remember, refund is available only if they have gone ahead and received the goods services or both from registered person against tax invoice with your UIN number written. But if UIN is not mentioned in the tax invoice also, then refund will be available if invoice copy duly attested is being submitted. Are we clear, everyone? The next one over here is very, very important. No refund of unutilized ITC. Your unutilized ITC ka refund is always given in two scenario only: zero rated supply under LUT or bond, or inverted duty structure. Remember, in both the scenario, your refund of unutilized ITC will not be given if goods exported, supposingly, whenever you are exporting the goods, those exported goods are subject to export duty. They are telling if goods are subject to export duty, unutilized ITC ka refund will not be given. If supplier avails duty drawback with respect to central tax, or you claim refund of IGST, in that scenario also unutilized ITC ka refund will not be given. Besides this, one more point which I just now remembered, that casual taxable person or NRTP, whenever they are going ahead and applying for refund, CTP or NRTP, whenever they are applying for refund, always. So for an example, a casual taxable person has taken a registration for 2 months. First, he has to go ahead and file all his return, and after that only he can go ahead and apply for a refund of the amount which is lying in their e-cash ledger. Okay, now over here, sir, rule number 89.2 has been given over here. Basically, they have gone ahead and told the documentary evidence, if you are going ahead and exporting electricity, refund is on account of electricity. Remember one thing, export of goods may other than any other goods ke liye, export of goods, you have to go ahead and see over here only, documentary evidence has been told. But if it is export of electricity, export of goods other than electricity ke liye, you have to go ahead and apply this. But for electricity, remember one thing, they have gone ahead and told whenever you are an exporter of electricity, what is the documentary evidence that you have to go ahead and give to claim a refund? They have told over here a statement containing the number and date of export invoices, sir, details of the energy exported, tariff per unit for the exported electricity as per the agreement, along with the statement, along with a copy of the statement of the scheduled energy for exported electricity by the electricity generation plant, issued by the regional power committee secretariat, and also you have to give the copy of the agreement detailing the tariff per unit. Baba, whenever it is a refund on account of electricity, all these details has to be given. Now here we have one point over here which is relating to refund in respect of unregistered person. Now sir, I will go ahead and talk about this unregistered person wala refund at the end. Okay everyone, there is an amendment part, I'll talk at the end. Chalo. Now sir, if the refund is, whenever a refund is given, I have already connected to this. Remember one thing, interest at the rate 6% will be given whenever a refund is not given to you within how many days? 60 days. If refund is not given within 60 days, interest on delayed refund will be given at the rate of 6% per annum. Remember, everywhere it is interest at the rate of 6% per annum. After 60 days, whenever you are given a refund of an amount and interest is told under section number 56. Remember, it is always 6% and it is after 60 days till the date of refund. The next over here is consumer welfare fund. Remember one thing, whenever refund has to be given and you could not prove that it's not unjust enrichment, in that scenario always the amount goes to the consumer welfare fund. Sir, the government will constitute one fund which is known as the consumer welfare fund, and credited to the fund will be what, everyone? Whatever the amount is not given to you and the amount is put when the amount is not refund is not given to the applicant, it is always put in the consumer welfare fund. Sir, the fund ka money will be invested. Any income from the amount invested will also be credited to the fund. Sir, such other money received by it in such manner as may prescribed, and prescribed is in rule number 97. Beside this, we have section number 58 which goes ahead and talks about utilization of the fund. Sir, all the sum credited to the fund shall be utilized for the welfare of the consumer. They will show consumers को advertisement about GST. ठीक है, and the government or the authority specified by it shall maintain proper and separate accounts and such other relevant records in respect of the fund, and prepare an annual statement of accounts in such form and manner in consultation with the C&HE, and everything whatever such manner etc they are talking about is told in rule number 98. Rule number 98 goes ahead and talks about the consumer welfare fund. Sir, they are telling in the consumer welfare fund all the amount of GST will be created and investment income also will be transferred to the consumer welfare fund. Besides this, they have gone ahead and told that, sir, okay, accounts of the fund will be maintained by the central government, audited by the C&HE. Sir, government will go ahead and constitute a standing committee. Standing committee will go ahead and meet how many times? 4 times in a year. Right, everyone? They have told about the powers of the standing committee also. Sir, also they have gone ahead and told the committee will make available the fund of the consumer welfare fund. So, sir, basically, committee will make the fund available to whom? The board. 50% of the fund will be made available to the board for what, everyone? For going ahead and doing publicity, consumer awareness, etc. And minimum amount which they will go ahead and give will be what, everyone? It should not be less than 25 crore per annum, and Baba, that will be subject to availability of funds. This I am not going ahead and specifically talking, but if you want, you can just read it once. Now the next one over here is, sir, rule number 89.4. Please come to the next chart, everyone. Rule number 89.4. Now 89.4 goes ahead and talks about refund claim in respect of zero rated supply. Baba, zero rated supply, I hope you guys remember. Now always remember one thing. First of all, sir, unutilized ITC ka refund we are going to talk about. Remember one thing, whenever you are going ahead and claiming a refund of unutilized ITC ka refund is given in unutilized ITC ka refund is always given in two scenario. Number one is zero rated supply which you make under LUT or bond, and second one is what, everyone? Sir, inverted duty structure ka case mein. Correct, everyone? Whenever you are going in and claiming the refund of zero rated supply under LUT or bond, it's a formula based refund which is as per 89.4, and sir, inverted duty structure ka case mein 89.5. Remember one thing, 89.4 ka formula. Sir, 89.4 ka formula goes ahead and talks about net ITC. You always have to take what, everyone? Net ITC multiplied by turnover of zero rated supply of goods which you have gone ahead and done under LUT, plus turnover of zero rated supply of services which you have gone ahead and done under LUT, and the divided by turnover little adjusted. Right, everyone? Sir, how do we go ahead and calculate net ITC? Sir, net ITC ka calculation is very simple over here. Net ITC ke liye first you have to take the gross ITC. Gross ITC has to be taken. From gross ITC, whatever input tax credit for which you are getting refund under 89.4A and Baba 89.4B mein, whatever refund you are getting, that refund amount has to be deducted over here, because 89.4A and 4B mein always you go ahead and get full amount of refund. That amount has to be deducted, and what you get is your net ITC. Done, everyone? Remember, in your gross ITC, you never take input tax credit of the domestic supplies which are exempt supplies. But if those domestic supplies are exempt supplies, but if you have exported it, then Baba, that ITC will be allowed. Remember, gross ITC may never take ITC relating to exempt supplies, domestic supplies which are exempt supplies, never take the ITC. Okay, everyone? So gross ITC minus ITC relating to which refund is claimed under 89.4A and refund is claimed under 89.4B, that has to be deducted, and the remaining amount is known as net ITC. Okay, sir? Point is clear? Now you have to go ahead and calculate triple. This is very important. Now the next one over here is turnover of zero rated supply of goods. Remember over here, please go ahead and take the zero rated supply, total zero rated supply, which you have gone ahead and done. What will you do, everyone? Zero rated supplies which you have gone ahead and done under LUT. Supposingly, I've gone ahead and done the supplies. Of those supplies, I also have to go ahead and see what. So this is the export ka invoices ke hisab se you will go ahead and take. Please compare this with the shipping bill mein whatever FOB value you have gone ahead and shown in the shipping bill. Correct, everyone? Whichever lower will come. Now always remember one thing, those supplies which you have gone ahead and exported outside India, of that supplies ka India ka domestic market price ka 1.5 time has to be seen. So sir, that supplies which I have gone ahead and done, 1.5 time of the domestic supplies ka price means how much, at what price I am supplying in the domestic market, that price ka 1.5 time. If I am not supplying, any other supplier who is supplying, of that price ka 1.5 time. Do you guys remember this? Sir, that has to be taken. You have to compare, and whichever is lower has to be taken, and from that you have to remove that zero rated supply which you have gone ahead and done under LUT, for which the refund is claimed under 89.4A and 4B. That amounts have to be deducted, and then you will get zero rated supply under LUT, or for which you can, for which amount has to be taken over here in the numerator. I'll tell you once again, everyone, net ITC is clear. Gross ITC minus ITC under 4A and 4B you have to deduct, and you'll get the net ITC. The next one is, sir, zero rated supply. When I am going ahead and calculating zero rated supply under LUT, remember one thing. First of all, you have to take the export invoices ka value, which are export invoices relating to a zero rated supplies, which you have gone ahead and done under LUT. Export invoices ka value compared to the shipping bill, FOB which is given in your shipping bill. Basically, when you compare, plus take the lower amount. When the lower amount has come, now these goods, when they were domestically supplied, of that ka 1.5 time is the maximum. Correct, everyone? Then again you will go ahead and take whichever is lower, and from that, those supplies, zero rated supply on which you have gone ahead and claimed the refund under 89.4A and 4B, those zero rated supplies also to be removed, for which zero rated supply which you have done under LUT, which were 4A and 4B wala supplies, Baba, those supplies also to be removed, and then you will get your zero rated supply under LUT, or with respect to the goods which you have to take in the calculation, and then it will come zero rated supply. So for people, first one is done over here, second one is done. The next one over here is zero rated supply of services under LUT or bond. Remember one thing, for services, whatever the payment you have received, for an example, you are claiming a refund for this period. Remember, refund is always for a period. In the calculation, never take any opening balances of ITC. So supposingly, okay, now we are talking about zero rated supply in case of services which are done under LUT or bond. How do you go ahead and take? Sir, first go ahead and see whatever the services ka payment has been received. For an example, you have received 50 lakh ka payment, in which there is an advance, which is for which service is to be provided in the next period. Then Baba, if there is any advance for which service is to be provided in the next period, for an example 10 lakh rupees, please deduct it. Because 10 lakh rupees ka service you will provide later. Might be you have received an advance in the previous period, 20 lakh rupees, for which services will be provided now. Then you have to go ahead and add it, and hence your 50 plus 20, 70 minus 10, 60 lakh rupees will become your zero rated supply of services. The next one is turnover, little adjusted. Remember one thing, turnover can be with respect to goods also, turnover can be with respect to services also. Turnover with respect to goods can be domestic supplies ka turnover, which is taxable supply. Turnover can be domestic supply, exempt supply. Sir, turnover can be zero rated supply on IGST payment. Turnover can be zero rated supply under LUT. Turnover can be zero rated supply or under LUT for 4A. And sir, zero rated supply under LUT for 4B wala turnover also can be there. Sir, services ka turnover can be domestic supply, taxable supply, domestic supply, exempt supply, zero rated supply on IGST payment, and sir, zero rated supply under LUT. 4A and 4B is not there over here. Sir, what will go in adjusted turnover? Remember, adjusted turnover. Turnover has to be adjusted. You will go ahead and take this domestic supply. Yes, sir. Sir, exempt supply? No, sir. IGST wala supplies? Yes, adjusted turnover mein, total turnover mein it will come. Then sir, LUT wala turnover minus this, do one thing. This total, you take it from the numerator. Are we clear, everyone? And this amount will come over here. Sir, this domestic supplies, yes sir, I will take. Exempt supplies, no, I will not take. Specifically, they have gone ahead and told in the adjusted turnover, you should not go ahead and take this. And the last one, this should be taken from the numerator. For the services, whatever the zero rated supply is done under LUT, please take in the adjusted turnover. So in the adjusted turnover, first of all, domestic supplies which are exempt supplies is not to be taken. Secondly, zero rated supply, this has to be taken from the numerator. This also has to be taken from the numerator, whatever you have calculated in the numerator. And Baba, this also is specifically being exempted. This specifically is being excluded, not to be taken in your adjusted turnover. So sir, whenever we are going ahead and claiming a refund under 89.4a, remember one thing, you always have to take your net ITC multiplied by turnover of zero rated supply of goods, turnover of zero rated supply of services. Sir, net ITC is gross ITC minus 4A and 4B related ITC. Net ITC will come. Sir, the turnover of zero rated supply of goods, I have already gone ahead and told you. Services, I have told you whatever payments you have received for the services, advance for next period deducted, previous period may received advance added, and then turnover little adjusted. And sir, whenever you are taking turnover of zero rated supply of goods, remember the value of the goods made during the value of zero rated supply of goods made during the relevant period without payment of tax under bond has to be taken. And sir, see, this you have to go ahead and do. First, you have to go ahead and do this comparison. For the purpose of this sub rule, the value of the goods exported out of India shall be taken as the FOB value declared in the shipping bill or bill of export, and the value declared in the invoice or the bill of supply, whichever is less. So shipping bill ka amount or the export invoice ka amount, whichever is less. Now this has to be compared. So this will become your value of supply under LUT. This has to be compared with 1.5 time of the like goods domestically supplied by the same or similarly placed supplier as declared by the supplier, whichever is less, other than the turnover of supplies for which refund has been claimed under 89.4a or 4b. ठीक है everyone, 89.4a, 4b और both लिखा हुआ है यहाँ पे. This is not a problem. So always remember one thing. This is very very important. First take export invoice का value, shipping bill का amount, whichever is lower, compared that with 1.5 time value, whichever is lower will come. 4a and 4b का turnover you deduct it, and you'll get turnover of zero rated supply under LUT for goods. Is my point 100% clear to all? Then we have 89.5 ka formula over here. 89.5 ka formula says what everyone? 89.5 ka formula says, please, okay, remember one thing, whenever you are taking net ITC over here, take only input and input services, don't take capital goods ka ITC. Okay? Now, when you go ahead and talk over here in 89.5, 89.5 says net ITC has to be taken. Net ITC mein only input will be taken. Multiplied by turnover. Now, sir, what will you do over here? Multiplied by turnover of inverted duty structure goods divided by adjusted turnover. How we calculated in 89.4? The same way adjusted turnover has to be calculated. This say you will deduct whatever is the tax payable with respect to the inverted duty structure. Correct everyone? Whatever is the tax payable for that inverted duty structure, and this tax payable will be in the proportion to the net ITC divided by the total input tax credit on input and input services. See, net ITC multiplied by inverted duty structure divided by adjusted turnover will give you how much proportion is relating to the inverted duty structure. From that, whatever is the tax payable, whatever the proportion of the input tax credit with respect to inverted duty structure you will get, from that you have to deduct the tax payable with respect to inverted duty structure, and that has to be deducted in the proportion to net ITC by the total tax on input or input services. Remember, here net ITCs are always input related ITC. Everyone over here. So it says over here, you always have to take net ITC divided by adjusted turnover multiplied by what? Turnover of inverted duty structure minus, always has to be done, tax payable on inverted duty structure, and that has to be paid in the proportion to net ITC divided by ITC on input and input services. And sir, here net ITC is only with respect to input, and adjusted turnover the same way how we have calculated above. Now over here we have some circular over here. This circular is basically going ahead and telling, I'll tell you the crux of the circular. This is an amendment which has come. What are they trying to tell? You know what happened in the last time? They had gone ahead and amended the formula to include this point over here. Are you guys able to understand? And because of the inclusion of this amendment part in the formula of 89.5, the amendment, the refund was becoming more. People are getting more refund now, and it is good. Now this formula which was amended was effective from 18th or 5th of July approximately, 5th of July. Now people are going ahead and telling, sir, will this amended formula, can we apply for the refund application which was filed before 5th of July? So government went ahead and clarified that the amendment is prospective in nature, and all the amendments which were filed before 5th of July, the old formula only will apply and the new formula will not apply. So it says over here, clarification, whether, first of all, whether the amended formula will apply only for refund filed on or after 5th of July, or whether the same will apply in respect of refund application filed before 5th of July and pending with the proper officer as on 5th of July. So they went ahead and clarified the amendment is not clarificatory in nature and is applicable prospectively with 1st of July 2022. It is not applicable retrospectively. Accordingly, it is clarified that the said amended formula of 89.5 would be applicable in respect of refund application filed on or after 5th of July. The refund application filed before 5th of July will be dealt as per the formula as it existed before the amendment. Total bakwas point, but still it's an amendment. Can I go ahead, everyone? The next one. Sir, on refund of unutilized ITC of goods exported which are having nil rated. Sir, over here, everyone. Now, people went in and asked, what did people have asked over here? People went in and told, sir, unutilized ITC ka refund you will not give if the goods which I am exporting are subject to export duty. Now, sir, for an example, the goods which I am exporting has nil rate, or the goods which I am exporting are exempted by notification, or the goods which I am exporting are not mentioned in the second schedule of the Custom Tariff Act. It means export duty is either nil or exempted, or export duty is not there only for my goods. In that scenario, will I get a refund of the unutilized ITC? They clarified, yes, Baba, yes. Only if your goods which are exported has some export duty, then unutilized ITC ka refund is not given. Otherwise, if it is exempted, nil rated, or sir, might be in second schedule of the Custom Tariff Act, your goods pay export duty is not there only, then Baba, in that scenario, you will get unutilized ITC ka refund. Clarification given that, sir, whether the second proviso of 54.3 prohibiting refund of unutilized ITC is applicable where the goods are having nil rate of export duty. So they told no, goods which are not subject to any export duty and in respect of which nil rate has been specified, or which are fully exempted from the payment of export duty by virtue of custom notification and which are not covered in the second schedule of the Custom Tariff Act, would not be covered by the restriction imposed. The next clarification over here, ITC of GST paid on inputs including inward supplies of stores, spares and packing material. Now officers went ahead and told, I'll tell you directly the clarification. What officers were doing is, they were going ahead and telling the stores, these packing materials which are there, for this we will not go ahead and give any refund of unutilized ITC, because packing material, all these stores, spares which you are going ahead and putting in your P&L account, but all these are not directly in relation to the manufacturing of the goods. Might be if you are making the goods ke liye input raw material, for raw material etc. will give the refund, but we will not give the refund with respect to inputs, which are those, what everyone, stores, spares, packing material etc. Now here clarification came, officer, this packing material, these stores, raw materials, all these are inputs only. Please take in your net ITC ka calculation, you have to take all the inputs, whether it is with respect to printing and stationery, whether it is packing material, whether it is stores and spares which are put in P&L account, all are inputs, because inputs are defined as goods other than capital goods which are used in the business or furtherance of business, and hence all the inputs have to be taken, whether it is printing and stationery ka input, whether it is packing material, whether it is stores and spares which are charged in the P&L account, those are also inputs. And those should be considered in net ITC ka calculation. People, will you read it at home now? Yes, sir. The next one over here is circular, refund of unutilized ITC on account of reduction in rates. This circular and the next circular, I will go ahead and tell you what they mean to say. Supposingly, sir, I went ahead and bought over here one bottle. Supposingly, I bought this bottle, and when I bought this bottle, the rate of GST was 18%. I bought this bottle in the month of January. Now, when I am going ahead and selling this bottle, the rate of GST came down 12%. Okay, everyone? And now this is the month of December. Will this be considered as inverted duty structure, and will you get the refund? They went ahead and told, we will give inverted duty structure refund provided the time period it was at the same point of time. Even though the input and output is same, we will still go ahead and give the refund if it is the same point of time. So for an example, if I went in and bought bottle and I paid on the bottles the rate of GST, I paid 18%, and now because of a concessional notification, I am supplying in the month of January I bought, and in the month of January only I am going in and supplying to the government department, and they have told when you are supplying to the government department, for an example, the concessional rate of duty of 5% will be applied. Yes sir, even though input and output is same, because it is the same point of time, whatever the differential duty will be there, you will be getting a refund. Are we all clear with this point? Did you guys get it? Just a second, everyone. Is this point clear to all? They are going ahead and telling because it is the same point of time, and here you had gone ahead and paid 18, and now on the same goods when you are selling, you are charging only 5% because of a concessional notification. You will get inverted duty structure ka case. You will fall in inverted duty structure, and refund will be given as per 89.5. But sir, supposingly I bought the goods 18%, and might be after 1 year government went ahead and reduced the rate to 12%. Now in this scenario, because the rates are different at different point of time, you will not be given inverted duty structure ka any refund. But if it is the same point of time and you are charging less rate, then it will come under inverted duty structure and you will be given refund under 89.5. The same thing has been told in these two circulars which are there. The next one over here is, sir, supposingly, the next clarification I am going ahead and talking about is branching of refund. Sir, supposingly, I want to go ahead and apply for refund of 2020 and 21 and 22 over here, January, February and March over here, April, May and June over here. This 6 months ke liye I want to go ahead and apply for refund. Sir, can I go ahead and combine these two periods? Yes, sir. Can I go ahead and combine can I combine tax periods together? Yes, Baba, all tax periods also can be combined together. And even if they are falling in two different financial years also, you can file one refund application. That is also permitted. Refund claim for two periods can be filed together, even if those two periods are falling in two different financial years. The next one over here is, sir, whenever you are going in and applying for refund, for an example, as per the formula under 89.4 and 89.5, your refund amount came only 1 lakh rupees. But sir, the balance in the e-credit ledger after the end of the tax period for which refund claim is filed, might be you are filing a refund claim for January, February and March. After you have gone ahead and filed the GSTR 3B, the e-credit ledger may only the amount which was lying was supposedly 1.5 lakh. Sir, 1.5 lakh is lying in the e-credit ledger. I am asking as per the formula only 1 lakh rupees. But then the balance in the e-credit ledger at the time of filing application means what happened for this period, you filed your application over here, and today the e-credit ledger balance supposingly over here, okay. I'll do one thing. I'll make this as 80,000. Okay, everyone. And today, when you are filing the refund application, and here the balance in the e-credit ledger was only 90,000 rupees. So, will you get 90, 80, or 1 lakh rupees? Sir, whichever is lower, you will be given the refund. Remember one thing as per the formula. Number two, the period for which you are claiming the refund. Once you have gone and filed for that period GSTR 3B, what was your balance in the e-credit ledger? And at the time of filing the application, what was the balance in your e-credit ledger? Now, sir, my balance over here was 90, 80 was when I went ahead and filed my GSTR 3B for this period. That time the balance was 80. At the time of filing the application, it was 90. As per the formula, it is 1 lakh. I will get a refund of only 80,000 rupees. Now this 80,000 will be given out of CGST, SGST or IGST. So when they are giving the refund, they will always give 80,000 rupees out of first IGST balance. They are going ahead and telling after calculation of the amount, the IGST shall be used fully, and they will go ahead and give out of the IGST account, they will give the refund. Then they will use CGST and SGST equally, and if any other amount is still payable, whichever head has a balance, from that head they will go ahead and pay the amount. So they are telling IGST shall be used fully, CGST and SGST equally to the extent of the balance available, and then after that whatever amount is payable, they are telling in the event of shortfall in the balance available in a particular e-credit ledger, whatever is the balance available in a particular ledger, the differential amount will be debited to the other e-credit ledger. Now the next one over here is, sir, okay, they have gone ahead and told, sir, whenever you are going in and applying for refund, you will be getting refund of the net ITCs. Now, when you are taking the net ITC, in that ITC ka calculation, please only take those amount for which the supplier has filed GSTR 1 and those amounts which are appearing in your GSTR 2A. So if the amount is appearing in your GSTR 2A or 2B. Now if the amount is appearing in your GSTR 2A, it means that amount ke liye supplier has filed GSTR 1 and it's a confirmed credit which is appearing in your GSTR 2A. Only those amounts ke liye refund application will be processed. So they are going ahead and telling, in the wake of 36.4, various references have been received regarding admissibility of refund of unutilized ITC on account of invoices which are not reflecting in GSTR 2A. So the clarification was given that refund will be given of accumulated ITC is restricted to the ITC of those invoices, the details of which have been uploaded by the supplier in GSTR 1 and are reflected in GSTR 2A of the applicant. Restriction but is not applicable in respect of IGST which you have paid on importation. Might be you have gone ahead and paid ISD ka invoice related credit, because ISDs goes ahead and file what, everyone? GSTR 6. So in that scenario also this restriction is not applicable. And RCM ka supplies mein, because you pay the tax under RCM and then take the credit, this restriction is not applicable. The next one over here is clarification. Sir, whether there is any restriction of recipient of deemed export in availing the ITC and where on supplies when he files for refund claim. So I am the recipient of deemed export. I am the recipient of deemed export. I paid the tax to the supplier. Now when I will file the refund application, the amount will be debited in my e-credit ledger. E-credit ledger mein that amount will be debited. So sir, can I take the credit? First, can I take the input tax credit? There is no problem, absolutely. If you have gone ahead and paid to the supplier the GST, please take the input tax credit, because when you are filing the refund application, the amount will be debited. And hence they went ahead and clarified that deemed export ka recipient, if he has paid the tax, then he can go ahead and very well take the input tax credit also, because when he is going, okay, now if you have gone ahead and paid the tax, you will definitely be taking the input tax credit. You take the input tax credit and then you can go ahead and apply for the refund. When you apply for the refund, the amount will be debited in the e-credit ledger. The next one over here is clarification. Sir, number one clarification is whether there is any time limit for applying for refund from your e-cash ledger, and e-cash is your your cash only. There is no time limit which is applicable. The next one over here is whether self-declaration or CS certificate is required. They are telling e-cash ledger ka refund, your cash, there is no unjust enrichment etc. applicable. CS certificate or self-declaration is not required. CS certificate means chartered accountant or cost accountant. Now they are telling whether refund of TDS and TCS deposited in the e-cash ledger can be refunded as excess balance of e-cash ledger. Yes, Baba, TDS and TCS is nothing other than your cash only, because people when they deduct TDS and TCS and they pay to the government, it comes in your e-cash ledger only. So it's a refund of the e-cash ledger balance only, for which there is no time limit which is applicable. Now whether relevant date for the refund of tax paid on supplies regarded as deemed export by the recipient is to be determined. Okay, now I'll tell you with this. Supposingly one supplier has gone ahead and charged you the tax on deemed export. Now he has gone ahead and charged you the tax. You are the recipient of deemed export. You would have gone ahead and paid the tax. Now you have to apply for refund within 2 years. This 2 years has to be seen from which date? In case of deemed export supply, always remember that 2 years has to be seen from the due date of return. Sir, deemed export ka case mein, you always have to apply within 2 years. You are the recipient. 2 years from which date? 2 years from the actual date of filing the refund return relating to the deemed export. Return will file by whom? Supplier. From that day, you have to go ahead and see that 2 years. The next one over here is clarification. Listen to me very carefully. I'll quickly tell you. I received an advance. I did not issue an invoice. I issued a receipt voucher, paid the GST to the government. Service ka case mein advance received. I went ahead and did not issue the invoice. I gave a. Okay, I'll go ahead and tell ulta first. Okay, I received an advance. I issued the tax invoice. I received an advance with respect to service. I issued the tax invoice, paid the GST to the government. Now the service contract got cancelled. Invoice already issued. What should I issue against it? Credit note. Credit note I should show in my return and my liability will be adjusted. But supposingly in the next month when I am issuing the credit note, my liability could not be adjusted because there is no output tax liability only. In that scenario, you can apply for refund. Done. Second case, I went ahead and supplied some goods, gave you the tax invoice. You returned the goods. For tax invoice, what will I give you? Credit note. My liability will be adjusted in the next month. If next month my liability adjustment ke liye I don't have output tax liability only, then then I can apply for refund application. Done. Third scenario, you gave me an advance for service, I paid the GST to the government. I did not issue a tax invoice, but I have given you a receipt voucher. Now I am refunding the amount and I give you a refund voucher. When I give you a refund voucher, I will not adjust the liability. In that scenario, I have to apply in GST RFD 01 and government will also refund the amount. Those three scenario 1, 2, 3 has been covered over here. The next one over here is, sir, clarification in respect of certain challenges faced by registered person in implementation of the GST law. Whether ITC availed by recipient of deemed export supply for claiming refund of tax paid on deemed export would be subject to provision of section number 17. They are going in and telling, sir, I am the recipient of deemed export. Whenever I am going in and taking the input tax credit with respect to those supplies which are considered as what, everyone? Deemed export, whether provision of section number 17 relating to apportionment, block credit, etc. will be applicable on this scenario. They are going in and telling, deemed export ka case mein, whatever supplies you have gone ahead and received, the provision of section number 17 with respect to the input tax rate, provision of section number 17 will not be applicable. So they are telling ITC so availed by the recipient of deemed export would not be subject to provision of section number 17. Now the next one is whether the ITC availed by the recipient of deemed export supply for claiming the refund of tax paid on deemed export is to be included. What they are telling everyone, whether the ITC availed by the recipient of deemed export, people, I am the recipient of deemed export, they are going in and telling in the net ITC, whatever the ITC with relating to deemed export is there, Baba, deemed export ka case mein, if person has gone ahead and done a deemed export supply to me and I am going ahead, I am advance authorization holder. Whatever input tax credit I have gone ahead and taken, that input tax credit ka refund is claimed under 89(4)(a). Correct, everyone? And for that, you don't go ahead and include it in your net ITC. So the clarification was, ITC availed by the recipient of deemed export for claiming refund of tax paid on supplies regarded as deemed export is not to be included in net ITC for the computation of refund of unutilized ITC under 89(4) and 89(5). Remember one thing, deemed export ka recipients, whatever ITCs are there, they go in and claim refund under 89(4)(a), and hence that amount is never included in your net ITC ka calculation, whether it is 89(4) or whether it is 89(5). Now let's go ahead and quickly cover the amendment which is relating to the chapter of refund. Everyone over here, listen. Sir, now what was happening was, in the GST portal, there was no functionality that an unregistered person can go ahead. I'm telling you about the amendment quickly, everyone. Okay? Now, in the GST portal, there was no functionality that, sir, an unregistered person can go ahead and apply for refund. For an example, you want to apply for refund. Earlier, only registered person could apply for refund. But in the law, though, they always told any person, any person, any person. It means, sir, if you are an unregistered person, can you also go ahead and apply for refund? Now, they meant that unregistered person also can apply, but in the GST portal, this functionality was never built. But now in the GST portal, they have built the functionality wherein you can go ahead, log in, not log in, but when you go to the GST portal, you can generate one user ID. Basically, you can go ahead and register yourself and as an unregistered person just to apply for refund, and you can go ahead and claim a refund. Now, sir, if I am an unregistered person, if I am going ahead and applying for refund, first amendment which I have done over here, chartered accountant or CA certificate, chartered accountant or cost accountant ka certificate, CA square certificate is not required for refund claim which is done by whom? Unregistered person. Government is telling if an unregistered person is applying for refund, he does not have to go ahead and submit a chartered accountant or a cost accountant ka certificate. Secondly, whenever he is going ahead and applying for refund, where the refund is being applied, claimed by an unregistered person, where the agreement for or the contract for supply of service has been cancelled or terminated. For an example, I had gone ahead and done an agreement with a person to go ahead and supply, give me a flat. For the flat, I had gone ahead and given an advance. Now, after 2 or 3 years, the advance he returned it to me because the contract got cancelled. He was not giving the flat within time. Or might be I had taken an insurance agreement with one company. After 2-3 years, now the insurance agreement which is there has been terminated. Might be there was some breach of trust, etc. and insurance agreement has been terminated. Now I had gone ahead and paid an advance amount along with the GST I had paid. He returned me the amount which was paid, but they did not go ahead and return me the GST. Why they did not return? If the time limit for credit note was there, he could have issued a credit note. He could have gone ahead and done his GST adjustment. But sir, he told that time limit for credit note is gone, and hence they refunded me only the principal amount, they did not refund me the GST amount. Now, an unregistered person in these scenarios can go ahead and apply for refund on the GST portal. He can go to the GST portal, generate an user ID and register himself temporarily, and then he can go ahead and file a refund application. When he is filing a refund application, GST RFD01, who? Unregistered person, what are the documentary evidences which are required? They have gone ahead and told a statement containing the details of the invoices, number, date, value, tax paid, and the details of the payment with respect to the for which refund is being claimed, along with a copy of such invoice, proof of making the payment to the supplier. Number one, that's a statement containing what is the details of the invoice, number, date, etc. Number two, they are going ahead and telling the details of payment, that you have made the payment to the supplier along with the GST. Number three, a copy of the agreement or registered agreement or contract as applicable entered with the supplier of the service. Sir, what was the agreement entered? That agreement ka copy, a letter issued by the supplier for the cancellation or termination of the agreement for supply of service, details of payment received from the supplier against the cancellation or termination of the agreement along with proof thereof. This also has to be given, and also you have to give a certificate from the supplier to the effect that he has paid the tax in respect of the invoice and on which refund is being claimed by the applicant, and that he will, means supplier will not go ahead and adjust the amount of tax in these invoices against his tax liability by issuing a credit note. And also he has to give the certificate, he has to say that he has not claimed and will not claim a refund of the amount of tax paid in respect of this invoices. Only then an unregistered person can go ahead and apply for a refund. So whenever an unregistered person is applying for refund, all this documentary evidence has to be given by him, and only then the refund will be given to him. Now, with respect to this unregistered person, one small clarification has been issued by the ICA, not the ICI, the CBIC. Now, this clarification which has been issued, let's go ahead and cover this clarification quickly. Now, sir, instances have been brought to their notice. I will tell you about the instances quickly. Now, what are the instances being brought to their notice? Supposingly, I went and booked an apartment. Now, the apartment ka contract which was there, they went and told they will hand over the apartment next year. I booked an apartment paying 10 lakh rupees plus GST. Because under construction apartment is there, not completed yet, I paid 10 lakh rupees plus GST. Later what happened? The contract got cancelled. Why the contract got cancelled? Because 2 years he told he will give the possession. He was not giving the possession. I told I don't want the apartment. He told take your 10 lakh rupees, take your GST. Baba, if he can issue a credit note, then if the time limit for issuance of credit note, which is 30th November or annual return ka actual date is not gone, then he will issue me a credit note. He will give the GST also back. But sir, supposing the time limit for issuance of credit note is gone, in that scenario, me being the unregistered person, he will just give me 10 lakh rupees, he will not return the GST. I can go ahead and file a refund application as an unregistered person by generating a temporary registration on the GST portal and going ahead and applying for a refund. Second scenario is, first scenario is this one. Second scenario over here is, sir, supposingly one life insurance has been taken by you. I took a life insurance. Now after 2-3, I paid the premium amount which was there, and now what happened? I paid the GST also. After 2-3 years, they cancelled the contract, saying that sir, there was a breach of trust, you had lied, and we are cancelling the contract, we are returning your money. If the time limit for issuance of credit note was not gone, they will issue a credit note, they will give the GST also back. But if the time limit for issuance of credit note is gone, then they will not return the GST. In that scenario, me being the unregistered person, I will go ahead and apply for refund of the GST amount which was there. Are we clear, everyone? And hence they have gone in and told about the presentation, etc. And they have gone in and told over here that, sir, how will you go ahead and file a refund application? They have told, sir, first of all, you can go ahead and take a temporary registration on the GST portal. When you are going ahead, see over here, the unregistered person who wants to file an application for refund, in case where the contract or the agreement is cancelled for flat or building has been cancelled, or long-term policy ka agreement has been cancelled, shall obtain a temporary registration on the portal using his PAN number. While doing so, the unregistered person select the state or union territory where his supplier or her supplier is registered, in respect of which invoice is being claimed. In respect of the invoices for which refund is being claimed, sir, wherever your supplier is registered, in that state you have to take registration and you have to apply for a refund. And that registration is just a temporary registration for the purpose of claiming refund. Then sir, after that you have to do your Aadhaar authentication, because unless you go ahead and do your Aadhaar authentication, refund is not given. Sir, further the unregistered person should also, when he is going ahead and taking a temporary registration number, he has to give his bank account number, because in the bank account they will go ahead and give the refund amount. The applicant shall also go ahead and provide the bank account which is in his name and has been obtained under his PAN. Baba, your bank account only you should give, and the applicant will now go ahead and file a refund application under what, everyone? Refund for unregistered person, and he will go ahead and upload a statement 8, which is basically along with the requisite document which I went ahead and just now told to you. And the refund claim shall not exceed the total amount of tax declared on the invoices in respect of which refund is being claimed. Sir, invoicement is showing 2 lakh rupees. You are claiming a refund of 2 lakh 50,000. Not possible, not allowed. And then they are going in and telling further the details. The document which I went ahead and just now told you, those documents should be provided. Which documents, sir? These details. These details should be provided. And they are telling the applicant shall also upload other document to support the claim that he has paid and borne the incidence of tax, and the amount will be refunded to him. The same thing has been told by a story over here. Are we clear, everyone? Remember one thing. Now, an unregistered person, what is the amendment? Unregistered person can go ahead and claim a refund. Sir, supplier के साथ agreement got cancelled for might be flat hire book or long term insurance policy का agreement has been cancelled. Then remember one thing, you can go online, take a temporary registration, and you can give your bank account detail also. Along with that, you have to go ahead and give your you have to file your refund application and give all the statements which I have gone ahead and told you, and your refund will be processed and the money will be given. But remember one thing, if the time limit for credit note is not gone, then your supplier should issue you a credit note and give you the GST. But if supplier did not issue you a credit note and did not give you the GST back, then in that scenario, you can go ahead and apply for a refund of the GST paid. Done, sir. Point is clear over here. In this chapter is an A graded chapter from exam point of view. Sir, what are the various things I should remember? First of all, the amendment which I told you is very, very important. You should remember the amendment. Other than this first chart which is there, no, it's your flow chart which is there. So you have to, many minute point can come. You can't go ahead and do anything over here. Secondly, this unregistered person point which I told you, please be very careful. This 89.4 and 89.5 ka formula, please be very careful in your exam. Other than that, the circulars which I have told you, no, A graded chapter ka B graded circulars, these are any point from any circular can be asked. There is nothing that can be done. Right, everyone? I'll go ahead and close my revision on the chapter of refunds. My fund is there with the government. I want it back. And sir, you always file a refund application with the documentary evidence to prove refund is due, and the refund is due to me only. Done, everyone. Done.